It's on me. Um, so basically, I want to start off with going through kind of just how Fusion 360 applies um, to designing your Sumobot. So there's many different ways you could make a Sumobot, and the whole point of at least this kind of part of the process is to get a frame built around it. I am doing this tutorial kind of early. It's mostly because I assume most people don't have their parts yet, or at least not all of them. I guess this is the point where I could ask if all of you guys have your parts and or are waiting for them. Like let's say, I guess the question is, will you have your parts ready to go by next week, Thursday, for next meeting? At least the like an Arduino and like maybe that our Amazon Arduino kit is what we'll need bare minimum. Mohammed, awesome. Okay. But not the motors yet. I assume they're probably the JSumo ones. And what I didn't warn you guys about, and I completely forgot, is that there's going to be customs on the JSumo order. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's like random that you'll pay for customs, but there's a possibility of customs, which is another $10 or something. Just fun, love it. Yeah. Okay. Custom. Mustafa, why do you gotta come in and just get me like that?
It's because our DHL takes their cut too, right?
Just got up in that DHL, as Frank Ocean would say. Yeah. DHL really gotta take their cut. You just come in on the one fact that you have more knowledge of me. Oh, I don't think I will have parts for next week, but I do have some parts. Okay. I guess I would assume the some parts means the Amazon stuff, which is most crucial in our case. Okay. Because what we're going to start with next week is sensors and the Arduino, and basically that stuff that you buy in that little kit of stuff, it comes on Amazon. It's usually like 2-day shipping, depending on if you have Prime or not. It's like enough to get started, and then motors and stuff. I kind of pushed motors down a bit unintentionally, but realizing that if you guys order JSumo stuff, it takes a little bit, which is totally understandable. Also, Mustafa, I guess there is 2 options for JSumo. You can do snail mail or DHL, and I assume DHL would probably also charge more for customs.
I think DHL was the one that my friend went with, and that's the customs one. But
throw back to when my snail mail didn't arrive, and then they actually sent out the order through DHL.
Yeah, big F. Yeah, I think maybe just not going with the JSumo option would be the play, probably. Or another thing we can do is if a lot of people here would like to order from JSumo, we could put it in one order, and then we could potentially figure out the logistics around that, because customs, the way that it works is you have kind of like a base fee, and then you pay a percentage on top of that, which is like your tax and everything, right? So it'll be cheaper for everyone. So don't know if that's something that you guys want to explore, or it's too late.
I think I'll announce it if anybody hasn't bought JSumo parts yet, but I don't know if it's gonna be late or too late for that.
Yeah, is there a JSumo reseller in Canada?
If only. Okay. So
did you check Robot Shop to see whether or not there was any there? Because that's the official reseller for JSumo in Canada.
Let's see. Gear motor.
That's the most generic search term ever.
It gives me something, but these are like those weird angled ones, and those 90-degree ones.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't carry everything. Though. Yeah, Robot Shop is a reseller for a lot of parts. Maybe, yeah. Yes. Why would a robotics reseller have carry around the L298D motor drivers, right?
Our Lord and Savior at 298.
Yeah.
Why is their search so vague and it gives me like 43 pages of
Yeah,
results?
you wanted the SparkFun machine learning kit, right? Isn't that what you're looking for?
The what?
If you scroll down, there's a machine learning kit or something.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
totally what I
that's
want.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We can put that to the side for right now, but yeah, I'll definitely consider that. Back to, I guess, fusion itself. So just those questions at least help me with planning, for sure. Um, so like the point is that Fusion 360 allows you to 3D model stuff, and with those 3D models, you can 3D print those 3D models that you make. And with those 3D models, with those 3D prints, then you can make a frame for your Sumobot. So all these electronic parts, you can stick them on, and it does what you want. It drives across the ground and slams other robots off the edge. Um, Very common goal for all these bots. So like keeping that in mind, it becomes clear that you don't need to use Fusion 360. Fusion 360 is kind of like the barrier to be able to 3D print your designs. Like, hey, I want this design nice and strong and 3D printed and stuff. You're gonna need to do Fusion 360, or Tinkercad has some rudimentary 3D modeling software, but it's not the best. Um, so like if you're finding Fusion 360 too hard, or whatever we go over today is just a little over your head, or you don't have the time to dedicate to learning it, there are other options. I know others currently who are still working on their Sumobot from last year. Um, they're they're using cardboard and other materials that they can find, sheets of plastic, other rigid materials that you can use, and stuff like hot glue. Hot glue is your friend when it comes to this kind of stuff, and a lot of other more rigid materials to design a bot, and it's much easier and much more accessible. And I should mention again, like if you want to 3D print something, we will 3D print it for you. That's not something to worry about. The worry is that can you 3D model something? And it's not the worst in the world because 3D modeling is quite 3D printing is quite flexible. Like if you mess up, we can reprint it with modifications. And even if something's like slightly off, like a screw hole slightly off or something, there's nothing stopping you from just taking some scissors or taking a small knife. And if you hurt yourself, we're not liable. But if you take a small knife and you just cut the hole out, the plastic's soft enough where you can modify it. It's quite flexible and stuff. So it's not. I'm trying to get you guys not to stress out too much if you mess up and you're like, oh man, I got one chance to get this right if it doesn't work, kind of thing, and stress out trying to get your model just right and spending hundreds of hours on it. So like I want to make it seem easy, and it is easy, and it is very approachable. If you don't freak out or overthink it or anything like that. So with that, I guess I can show you what I took probably a bit over a week over a summer to design on and off here and there. I had literally had nothing to do. It was COVID. It was summer 2020. So hopefully everybody can see that I'm screen sharing right now. Hopefully the text isn't too small. I don't think I can adjust it, unfortunately. But this is my model, and it resembles my bot, which I didn't even turn my camera this time around. With the blur, gotta get the blur off so we can see. And we can see how closely this model right here resembles this, because those parts right there, these gray parts, were just slapped on the 3D printer and printed with, I don't know, I finished it in a week and then I printed it end of the week. And we would, and I never modified this file again, basically. because everything fit together. So I would consider this design quite complicated, advanced. It makes a lot of things really convenient, but as a result, it took a lot of effort to design. So if your design is simpler than this, don't sweat it. I mean, this design requires the use of zero hot glue. That's kind of like was one of my things, is I didn't want to use any hot glue. So as a result, I had to get kind of complicated. As I'll start to hide some parts here so we can actually see what's going on. So you can see a little motor driver board. I took time to model that. So all these little models of all these different components is I will provide to you guys, and it'll make it a lot easier. Last year I did some kind of sharing thing, so you could share a folder and you could view it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to export all these files, and I'm going to show you guys how to import them back, which will save you guys a lot of headaches, to put it simply. All these models, like the model of the battery, the model of this little mini breadboard thing, the motor driver, everything's to scale. Fortunately, actually, the only thing that isn't to scale, I think I messed up the scrolls on the motor driver now I'm realizing it. It's fine, it's off like a millimeter. I don't think it'll actually affect things. But like, anyways, I can now at least show you the design. And it's just something to take note, just something to, get ideas for as we progress and actually show you how did I get this far? Like, I kind of want to show you the end goal so you know what we're reaching. We're not going to build anything like this in a day. It's just to kind of show you the end goal. So we can see there's a lot of fancy stuff going on here. Oops. And drivetrain, no. Breadboard. So you can see, since I didn't want to use hot glue, this plate here, this plate that I'm showing and hiding, actually screwed into a couple of stalks. And these took, an hour to design. As you can see, they're quite complicated, but you don't need to make it that complicated in the slightest. What you could do is just have literally a square, and then you add some hot glue on the top and you squish your little part down, and life's good, kind of thing. I did actually modify these little brackets here recently. I actually printed some new ones. I haven't put them on because those ones actually snapped. So this shows kind of a limit of 3D printing, is a part about this thin, and I'll be also providing these, the fully assembled model, so you can just look at it and see what kind of limits there are. These things are 3 millimeters wide. It's a little tiny text down here, but they're 3 millimeters, and those things actually snapped once I screwed the motors down, because there's a lot of torque on these. So I actually printed some larger ones, and if these snap again, I'm going to use a stronger material to print. So yeah, so let's actually get started with modeling. Now that we actually know what's our goal and what are we trying to work towards. So I assume you guys are all on this page. You can see I have a buttload of projects, but you wouldn't have anything. Everything would be blank. Maybe there's some samples and some libraries. What you need to do is press New Project. You click on New Project and you name it. Bot Tutorial 2021. And now it's a project. Basically, a project is literally just a collection of project files. This thing here is one project file. So if we click in here, now we can create basically a new tab. Let's see here. New design. So actually, I should back up. When you actually start, don't save here. Basically, it'll already open with a new tab. It'll always say untitled here. It's just like a whole ultra wide tab because it's like a tab based kind of program, and it'll basically be ready to go. Untitled, it'll say. You don't even need to create a new tab or anything like that. So you'll see your project. You're currently in this project folder, which is blank, and you see a tab up here. Beautiful. Now we want to do something with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically, my goal right now is to create a square, like a stupid little rectangle, and put some holes in it in very specific positions. I say very specific, and I'm not going to put them randomly, because you're going to reach that point where you need to put stuff in specific positions and not just place it like it's a piece of art. With this untitled thing, what I can do is I can just Command S is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to save, or you can press the little save button up here, and then it'll basically say name and the location is that project. It'll automatically select whatever project you're in, or you could just randomly go select a different one if you wanted to. And I'm going to do, I'm just going to call it a random square because that's what we're going to make. Beautiful. I assume everybody can get to this point, because this is where we actually start using the tools and stuff that Fusion 360 allows us to do. So to create this square, it's going to be like a shallow rectangle. It's going to be like a rectangle, like almost like phone shaped, like a phone shape, just flat. So basically the way you start is you start with a 2D drawing, and then you extrude, or you make that, you turn that that 2D object that you draw from an infinitely flat surface into like a thick surface, basically. So I'm going to start by creating a sketch, which is my 2D surface I'm going to create. I pick a plane, which doesn't matter at all in this case, so we have no point of reference. I'm going to start drawing, and now it moves our camera so we're flat on that plane, and now we know what we're looking at. And I'm going to draw my square. So you see now that we're in this sketch mode, where there's this new tab that's created called sketch. To get out of this at any time, we can press finish sketch, and it'll back us back out. And we can see we've panned away according to this little square. To get back into your old sketch, you can there is your selection of files. This is basically everything that's in this random square file. So we can see our sketches, and we can see sketch 1 right there. We double click, and we can see we're now back on top, and we're in sketch mode. Took me a very long time to figure this out. I was frustrated when I started using Fusion 360. It was not intuitive at all. The whole sketch mode, getting in, getting out, it's very weird. If you want to if you were to press that little solid and then create sketch again, it would just create another sketch. You couldn't go back and edit your old sketch, which is kind of annoying sometimes, for sure. So I'm going to create a little rectangle. So I'm going to use 2-point rectangle. So I'm going to click on it, and now the tool is selected. We can see my mouse has changed kind of. It's probably really small to see, but we can also see this side kind of changed a bit. You can see rectangle here. I'm going to click at the origin, but you can literally click anywhere. Just habit almost. Just click once, and now we can see we got a square. I could click a second time, and that would define the square, but instead I want to actually define actual dimensions. So we can see in blue, there's a number. It's arbitrary, but I'm going to type a number in there. I want this to be an 80 millimeter square. So I typed in 80, and then I'm going to press the tab key, and it's going to go over to the other dimension, which is now in blue, and I wanted this to be 40. So I type in 40, and then I press enter. And now we got a 40 by 80 millimeter square. Beautiful. Amazing. It's a square. So at this point, we can also put our circles on it. But I kind of want to show kind of the fun part, which is actually extruding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press finish sketch. There's a finish sketch here, and there's also a finish sketch up here. Press either. And now we have this square. If people are not following, let me know. There are only about 5 of you here, so I can help any one of you guys if anything. So what I'm gonna now do is, Richard, you ask something?
Yeah, I kind of lost you at the sketch part. I was trying to do it, but like everything just got out of whack? Like I saw that you made a certain point and then from there you made a rectangle, but I'm not too sure how you were able to do that.
Okay, let's back up then. So you got to this point, right?
To the sketch part, yeah, where
So there's just this little weird circle. So I'm gonna click on this 2-point rectangle in the corner.
okay.
Just click once on it, and now you can see how it says rectangle over here.
Yeah.
That confirms, that's just a double confirmation that you're in the rectangle mode. And then I clicked on this point just once, and then I dragged away from it. I wasn't clicking and holding, I was just clicked once.
Okay.
And now I'm here like this, and now I can type in 80. Because you saw it was in blue on the bottom there. You can actually select the mouse, but and then I can press tab and then 40, and then press enter. And that's how I got a square of a very specific dimension. So
okay.
hopefully you're good now.
Yeah, that's a little bit clearer. I'm only using one screen, so I'll try doing what you did now. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, good. Depending on the resolution of your screen, you might want to hit it with a left and a right, but I don't know how easy that'll be. There's a little X here, so we can close that panel completely.
Yeah.
Give us even more
that's
space.
What I did. Yep.
Okay, that's good. Now we're gonna try and extrude, I guess. So now once I have finished stack, you can see the tab went back to solid. Surface, mesh, sheet metal, all this other complicated stuff. But we're in solid. Amazing. There's this magical thing called extrude. My most used tool, by far. I click on that, and because it's a very smart piece of software, it automatically selected the only thing that I could extrude, which was this square. If there was multiple things to extrude, it wouldn't select, and I would have to go and click on the square. But now it's selected, and then we can see our little tool panel with lots and lots of options. All of them are useful. I recommend just experimenting with them once you learn this basics. So what I'm going to try and do now is extrude. So I can just click on this arrow, like just click and hold, and then I can just do an arbitrary. It has a very nice snap feature, so you can see by millimeters. If I was to zoom in even further, it would snap by a more finite. See, it's now doing 0.5s. So yeah. So instead of doing this is kind of just to see. It's like if you're assembling certain parts and you want to see how they fit together, you would do something like this. You would manually do it. But if you know how big you want this, you would just type in a number. So you see it's selected in blue there, this text. So we can just type in 5 millimeters. Fusion 360 is in millimeters by default. I would prefer if everybody used millimeters. Makes our lives easier. If you want to use inches, go for it though. I ain't stopping you. So now we have our square, our beautiful, beautiful square. Can everybody get to this square? It's very simple, but it's also a very good achievement if you can get this far, from starting from possibly nothing for all I know. Yeah, Ohana, awesome. Okay. We're getting here.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, but can you show again how did you do the rectangle?
The rectangle. Okay. Let's just do a completely new rectangle. So what I did is from basically your new project, I pressed create sketch, and then I selected a plane. In this case, why don't I select this plane instead? Basically, it's just these 3 yellow squares, and then I can select a plane. For us, it's not really crucial. Pick whatever you want. Now we're on this plane. We can ignore this other square here. I clicked on this 2-point rectangle in the sketch tab. It automatically selects the sketch tab for you. I clicked once, and then clicked here, any point really. Doesn't matter where I click on this in this kind of workspace. And then I typed in a number. See, it's in blue there on the bottom. It says like 35 millimeters right now. It's probably really too small for you guys to see, but I'm gonna just type in a number on my keypad, 40. It fills it in right automatically, and then press tab and then do another number. The numbers don't really matter in this case. The point is that you know that you can insert whatever number you want if you needed to, which you're definitely going to want to. For the Sumobot example, you have that 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter kind of limit. That's kind of how I started my whole design. Is I just made a square that's 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters and started fitting my parts together. So, and then I'm just going to type in another time and then press enter, and then we got this square. Is that okay? You following?
Yeah, I got it.
Awesome, amazing, that's great. Feliz, I see that you came in late. No worries that you're late, but I'm curious if you need help getting up to speed at all or not.
I think I got this part. I think I'll be fine, but I'll ask if I stuck.
Okay, keep me updated. Hopefully you can get this far.
Alright,
No problem. So now we have this sketch, and if we press the extrude button, of course it automatically selects for us for some reason, and does some funky stuff for us. But we have this beautiful square. And what we can do is we can press extrude, click on the surface, and then extrude it. We can type in a number, 15, or we can click and drag as we wish. Either or. I'm going to type in 50, press enter. Now we have two squares. Amazing. So what I'm going to now try and do is sketch on top of an object. And those are just the original sketch and then the sketching on top of objects. You can go really, really far with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do create sketch again, but instead of selecting a random plane, I'm actually going to select on top or on whatever face I want to draw. And in this case, I want to draw some circles on this face. So I'm going to click on that. And now we're drawing on the face. You can see it's kind of a weird color now. That's, I think, intentional. So I'm going to draw some squares, or a circle. Let's say this. I want to actually draw a circle right in the dead center. This is more into the kind of, if geometry was your favorite subject in high school, or middle school, I guess, is when you really learn geometry. This is where you can kind of flex that area of your brain a bit. So I need to draw a circle. I want to draw a circle in my case, right in the center of this, centered on the X and centered on the Y. How do I do that? Well, what I do is I just draw a line like this diagonally. So I'm using the line tool now instead of the rectangle tool. So I click on it. Same thing, except I'm going to take advantage of the snap features. So the green square that you see, it's basically snapping to something. Be it a corner of an object, be it the midpoint of a line, be it a grid, or whatever, it's snapping to something. And we take advantage of that. And whatever, see how it's snapping to a line, so it's an X. Corner is a square, and then the midpoint is a triangle. See, it's right in between this line. But what we're going to do is just do some basic geometry stuff, like the simplest kind of form. So I'm going to place a point here. So I'm going to click once, and then I'm going to go over here and click a second time. Look at that. We have a line now. We're going to take advantage of this line. First, we're going to draw just a second line really quick. So we're just going to click here and click over here. Bada bing, bada boom. And I should say, if any time right now, since I drew this line, I'm still inside the line tool. We can see it's highlighted here. It's still highlighted. I'm in the line tool. If I want to get out of it, I'm like, crap, I don't want the line tool anymore. I wanted to use a different tool. You can press escape. When I learned AutoCAD and whatnot, AutoCAD's made by the same company, so it's like the same. But I was told a lot, escape is your friend. I started learning AutoCAD in like 9th grade, I think. We had a course for that in our school. That was pretty fun. And escape is your friend. That was the quote. So if something's not going right, something's acting really funky, you're trying out a new tool, it's not going right, escape. Just press escape, spam it. You'll get right back to where you need to be, which is just this kind of base, no tool selected kind of area. So now we have this cross, and now I want to draw a circle. So there's multiple circles here. If we actually, there's a little drop down here. Create and access even more shapes that we can draw. You can explore these for hours. But we can see there's this circle. It's a center diameter circle, which basically when you start drawing the circle, you pick your first point that you click is the center of the circle, and then you expand and you pick the diameter. Basically, it's like you basically define two parameters. Where is the center in your x and y space, and how big is it how big is the diameter? There's a lot of other circles where you like define 2 points or 3 points. Or you can like do fancy stuff where tangents and whatever. Probably haven't even learned that if you're in engineering, you probably haven't even covered that stuff in grave detail yet. So for all I know. So center diameter circle, simple as it gets. I'm gonna click that. And it's like, it basically immediately asks the question, place center point is what it's saying. So where is it? So I want it right here. And you can see it puts the X there. And it also puts the midpoint, which double confirms that this is where we want our circle. So we click that, and then I just drag away, and look at that, a beautiful circle. How big do I want it? I want it 10 millimeters across. So that's diameter, not radius. Don't mix them up, or your print might not turn out so good. And then I press enter, and now we got a circle. And now it's like, frick. Now my circle is divided up into some weird ratio. I assume these are 8s, and these are like something or other. I can basically just click on the line once, and you see it's in blue, and then press delete. And then I can click on this line, press delete, and now we have a beautiful circle centered. Oh, that's unfortunate. You have to leave, Ryan. Oh, he's already gone. That's sad. Yeah, this recording will definitely be posted for sure. Now we have our circle. Beautiful. I'm going to press finish sketch again, and I'm going to try and extrude that. But since I don't want a pole, so I'm just going to extrude in the opposite direction, and it automatically switches to cut. And it just cuts right through it. You can see here, operation is cut instead of join. Join is usually the default for extrusions. And we just cut right through it. Boom, I got a hole. Amazing. So simple, so straightforward. Hopefully everybody's following. I totally can't fault you if you're not. I can give it a sec to let people get here, I guess. Because next plan, it's gonna get spicy. We're gonna start importing parts, basically. I haven't even provided you guys a file to import yet, so I should probably do that first. So I'll let everybody, I guess, you guys catch up. Richard?
Yeah, I'm nearly there to, like, I made the circle and I split the square or the rectangle I made before that, and the circle is like in the middle, but I'm having some trouble like selecting the circle so I can extrude it.
Are you selecting like a pie of it?
Like I'm trying to select the circle, but it's only selecting a slice of the rectangle.
A slice of the rectangle. Do you want to show us what you're doing? Would you mind?
Could I share a screen?
Yeah, go for it.
Thanks. For some reason it's blue now, but it wasn't blue before. So like I'm trying to extrude the circle. I selected extrude, but
Oh, at this point you selected like everything to extrude. So press escape.
okay. I am pressing it. Oh,
there we go.
Okay, yeah.
So, oh, I see. So go back into your sketch. Do you remember how to do that? There's a little drop down on the left side that says sketches.
Where is
Down,
that? Here?
down to the left, kind of in the middle of the window. Hold on, I can draw on your screen. Let's see.
Oh yeah,
right,
sure, thank you.
Right here,
Okay,
sketches.
yeah, I see it. Yep.
Open the little, it's a little drop down. There's a little arrow to the left of it. And then we can click on sketch. Yes, sketch 3 is the good one. Yeah, so double click on
okay.
that. And you see those lines there that you drew. You basically just need to get rid of those lines. Those little,
So-
that cross.
Okay, all right.
And then you can basically extrude it really easily. As an alternative, you can select each kind of the 4 pies. Like you select, when you want to extrude, you select this one, this one, this one, and this one. All together, just click consecutively, and then try and extrude that way.
Could I try it the first way? I think that seems a little simpler.
Just getting rid of the cross.
Yeah, like you said with these 3 sketches, so I would get rid of which one?
You would have to go edit the lines inside the sketch. I don't know which sketch you drew those cross on. It looks, I'm not sure. Hard to tell from here.
Okay, I did something.
That confirms that sketch 2 has the
Okay,
line.
then.
So try Command Z, or Control Z, just to undo your delete. Double click on sketch
Yeah.
2 then.
Okay, that did it again.
Wait, what?
I clicked on sketch 2, but it did the same thing again for some reason. I can try sketch 3.
Try full screen, so we can see what's going on. Yeah, do finish sketch first, and then double click on sketch 2. Interesting problem. So yeah, and now you're in sketch 2 for sure.
Okay.
Oh, that's why sketch 3 disappeared. It's a weird timeline thing. Since you drew sketch 2 first, it kind of goes back in time. You edit the sketch and then it goes forward in time. It's a weird.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some 4th dimension shit going on here. So basically, just single click on that cross on one of the lines of the cross. Just single click on it. Yeah, click it. Now press delete. Or I think backspace will work. There. And now click the other one. And that. And now finish sketch. And now we should go forward in time, and then the circle should be
that's really cool. Okay, so
now go try and extrude.
I've selected the circle. Have I? Okay, I did.
Press escape. Actually, you select you press extrude first, and then select the circle.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh, I see. It doesn't want to. Press. Try and pan around a bit. So you can pan around using holding the right click, I think.
It does.
Oh, it does that.
I'm
thing.
using a touchpad.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately.
So what you can do is you can put your mouse on this little back thing. Click it and just drag it, and it'll pan around for you. Oh,
Okay.
There we go. Now we can see what's going on.
I guess I can turn it.
Usually I do everything at like a 45-degree angle of everything. Yeah, something like that. Okay, now try and extrude it. Oh, it doesn't want to. Oh, you got sketch 2 in the way. That's why. So hide sketch 2. Just the little eyeball. There we go. Now attempt to extrude that thing. So press extrude, and automatically selects it. It even knows. There we go. And then if you do it in the opposite, if you drag it in the opposite direction, it'll cut.
Whoa! What was that?
Okay, that was being stupid. You can press escape and try again. That's some weird angle stuff. Extrude and then drag. There you go.
That's
amazing.
really cool.
Awesome. Okay. Glad you
So
got it
to keep
working.
this, I just click enter, I guess, to
Yes.
accept this, enter.
And there you go.
Oh, oh, that is so cool. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, I guess I'll let you screw around for a minute. I'm gonna try and get you guys a file that I'm gonna share in the Zoom chat so you guys can import it and screw around with it. I'm gonna export a file. I find I'm in a Sumobot file or something. What's one of my favorite things? Ah, the 9-volt battery. So simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this for you guys. Don't even follow this. So I'm going to export this as a 3D. Yeah, that should be okay. I'm not going to save it there. Save my own downloads. Okay, and now I'm going to go into the chat and I'm going to upload a file on my computer. Okay, so now there's a file in the Zoom chat. If you want to download it, trust me, it's not a virus. I literally just made the file. Basically, you download that, and then you'll have the file per se on your computer somewhere. Should I continue, or are people still trying to get going? Are you guys okay if I continue?
I'm still creating the whole.
Okay. I need to get a giant glass of water. So I think I can. If you still can't get the circle, I'll help you as soon as I get back. I'll be like 30 seconds tops, I think. Oh man.
Okay, no worries.
Okay, how are you managing out with the hole?
So, I'm creating the whole, but it's like too big. I'm not sure how do I change the dimensions.
The hole is larger than the actual surface.
Yeah.
You would probably have to go back. You can either redo the sketch or you have to go and edit the sketch. So if you want to go back and edit your sketch, you have to go find it in this little drop down, as I showed, and then double click on the sketch, and then you can actually edit the circle. What you would usually do, if you're in the sketch mode, it's harder to edit things, and you usually just delete it, and then just redraw it. That's probably your best bet. Hopefully, I answered your question.
So after I create the circle, how do I make the hole?
So let's see. Let's undo. So you have probably something that looks like this, right?
Yeah.
You press you press the extrude, you click on it, then you click on the circle,
Okay.
like such, looks something like that, and then you just drag underneath until it's all the way through. Or I don't want to get, let's just say you just do this. There's more complicated, more official ways to do it, but I probably just don't want to do that, just to keep it simple.
Okay, so I think I used the whole button up here. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about the hole button. Just
Yeah,
use
that,
extrude to create your holes.
yeah, that
'Cause the
was. That's why it wasn't working.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the hole is so you can create some very fancy holes, threaded holes, like and all loads of stuff. Yeah. So there we go. We got a beautiful hole. So are we good to? Am I good to show you guys? I guess how to import files then.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Richard, I assume you've gotten there, so I know you're good.
Yep, I'm good to go.
You're good.
Yep.
Salwan.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. 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 I want to say 5. Are you making it okay? I don't know if you.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. So to import files, I'll make sure I'm in actually my project. Random square, our Lord and Savior. I can't forget to save. Every time it comes up with that dialog, just press OK. So to upload a file, there's 2 different ways. There's a little upload button here, and there's also in the file menu here, there's upload. Both of them do the same thing, but I'm just going to click this one because it's nice, clear, obvious. And it comes with this dialog. So this is where I actually select the file. So this is the file that is in the Zoom chat right now. You should probably be able to see, and you can just open it. Why did my Fusion 360 window close? I don't know. Here I am. Here it is. I press upload. It's kind of confusing why it's upload, because it's a piece of software, but what you should know is that Fusion 360 is cloud-based. So when you press upload, you're literally uploading it to the cloud, and then all these models that you're looking at are kind of cloud-based. It's like almost like a web-based kind of application. So that's why it's upload. So funnily enough, all these files and stuff that you're saving, everything is in the cloud. You delete your computer crashes, you lose all your files, you're fine. Not a big deal at all. So 9-volt battery V2 is complete now, and it puts it right in the project. So we can see it right there. Beautiful. We can open it and we can see it, but it's kind of on its own. It's like, well, what's the point of this? You guys might have issues with certain files. Certain files will take longer than others depending on what format it is. You can import. There's a lot of different file formats that you can import into Fusion, and it'll convert it and everything. It's really nice. But I will provide them in the same file format, .f3d, and I'll provide a zip, and I'll put it in a folder for you guys. It'll be all in Discord and everything.
Sorry, could you go over that again? Because like, how did you export it into the thing? Because I don't see the like import button. I only see the export button.
So you press the upload button.
Oh, sorry. Okay, thank you.
Oh, thanks, Felice, for sending it.
No worries.
That's awesome.
So I did upload it, but I can't find it.
So assuming you're in the project, it should go right into the project that you were using.
I don't have this menu.
Oh, this is hidden. This thing you
Yeah.
can't see this one. Press these little this little 3x3 grid here. Hide data panel. It'll get rid of it and show it.
It shows me different things. It says recent data. Oh yeah.
If it might show this, and then you got to actually click on the project.
Okay. I found.
Awesome. So now we have this file, and we're like, oh crap, what do? It's just a stupid battery, like it's just sitting there. It's kind of useless. But let's say we want to actually like put it in our other project and do something with it. So I'm now going to show you how to like put that battery in here. So what I'm going to do is do insert and insert derive. Very important, insert derive. It's very powerful because we know you're going to make modifications to other parts, and it allows you to kind of keep everything in sync. This is this whole fourth dimension timeline stuff I'm talking about. Makes Fusion 360 quite powerful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go press insert derive, and then it's going to be like, well, what do you want to import? So this is where it gets a little confusing. It tripped me up for the longest time when I started using it. So once I click on the file, I'm going to press select, and then it's just going to show me the actual project. And that's where it kind of gets a little like, what's going on here? Like, what does it want me to do? It basically wants you to select an object, because usually you'll have multiple objects in these files that you just opened or selected. So it's like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to import? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the battery, and then I'm going to press on this dialog box, OK. And then bada bing, bada boom, it's in. So in this other drop-down bodies, we can see we have our battery. And we can see it has that little weird reply icon thing. And that says it's a derive. And I'm going to show you something really funky with it in a minute. But now that we have this part, it's like, well, now I need to move it around. So now we need to put it into position. So now we're going to use the move tool. And we're now going to give it a shot. So this is the move tool. It's quite powerful on what you can do with it. But in the simplest form, it's going to pick a point and you orbit whatever you make around that point. So I can't make it any bigger for you guys, but you have these little grabbers, these little arrows that you can actually move stuff with, and then you have these little circles that you can rotate the object with.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Sorry, but could you go over it again? Because I uploaded it, but I don't know how to like bring it into my file, like where my like squares with the circle, because I uploaded it.
Okay. I'll do it one more time. So what we do is we do insert. So we're in the solid menu now. Make sure you're outside of the sketch. So finish sketch or whatever. And then in solid, we're going to go insert with this little drop down. Insert derive. And then we're going to go select the file, 9-volt battery V2, which you can see is in the Sumobot tutorial 2021 project. And then we're going to select it. And now it's like, well, what do you want me to select? So, because I messed it up, I pressed escape.
It's telling me to relaunch Fusion. It says try again after relaunch.
You might want to try and relaunch.
Okay.
Maybe a half-ass crashed and it's like, frick, restart. Interesting. Anyways, I'll try and show at least. I select the object, I press OK, and then over in random square it appears. Amazing. So now I was trying to actually move the object, so I can click on the object, as you can see. Here, if anytime you want to select an object in the body section, we can just go and click on it. We can go find it, we can select this square, we can select that square, very handy. And you can also name them if you click on them, battery, or whatever. So we click on that, we press M, and we move it. So I'm going to spin it around like this, and I'm going to spin it around like this. Well, not like that. Let's do it like that, and we're going to put it upright. Like that. I'm just kind of moving in random. What I usually use the move tool for is kind of positioning my parts, and then I kind of build the 3D model around these parts by sketching around these surfaces, sketching around the batteries and stuff. So we can see now we have an beautiful battery, chilling. So we have to make sure we press OK. That's pretty important. And now we have this beautiful battery sitting on top of our square. I'm gonna now at least demonstrate something really cool about these insert derives, but you don't have to follow along here. So what I'm gonna actually do is try and modify the battery. I'm basically literally just gonna shove a square through it and see what happens. Just gonna delete it. Look, we modified the battery. And if I save this, right, and then I come over here, it's gonna scream at me. Should. Oh no, it's a different battery. I modified the wrong battery, guys. Rick, I modified the wrong file. Hold on, I'll get this. If I cut this battery, like such, and I save that, it's gonna see here, I now have an error, and I can literally update it, and it'll update all my models. So if I make a modification to whatever I imported, update external references, look at that. It updated. And this is really handy so you don't have to re-import everything. It just goes to show that you don't have to go around. Awesome, the battery got in after the relaunch, okay. That's great. Okay, update external references, okay. Now we're good. Now we've saved, and now we have this beautiful battery. So, has everybody gotten this part? At least.
Are the battery, but like it's like I'm finding it difficult to like reorient it to be like that, like how you have it.
Okay. If I click on, so the way I orient it is I press the move key and then first I select the object and then I press move. So it's a little backwards from extrude. And then it kind of placed a random origin. You kind of see it. And then I use these different grabbers here, the arrows and the whatever. Each one does a different axis. So you can see that one does that, and then that one does that. Do you get that much? Or
Yeah, I get that. But I guess for me it's like a weird axis is selected, so like rotates weirdly.
okay.
Let me try to re-click the move thing on it, like Control Z.
Yeah, usually you want to do everything at 90-degree angles when you move stuff. So maybe you move the battery kind of at a 45 degree.
How do I like select the whole object? Because it's only selecting like the faces and the lines for me.
The faces of the lines. So did you select the entire battery by going into this drop down here, bodies,
Oh, okay, sorry.
and then clicking object?
Okay, I got it now. Thank you very much.
Okay, no problem. I'm glad that worked. So yeah, usually the way I select objects is by using this. It's pretty handy. There are a few other methods, including just clicking on it. Drag to select. Drag to select is kind of annoying sometimes, though, especially in a 3D space. Usually works better with 2D stuff. But yeah, best strategy is to select bodies here. So I say at this point, the only other thing I can suggest, the other thing I want to show is one other extrude option. So if I want to make this, if I want to put another box on top of this box that is the exact same size, I can extrude and then do new body, this operation new body. So we've done cut, we've done join, which is your default extrude, and now I'm doing new body. And if I select this to be 5 millimeters and then press OK, now it's a completely separate object, which is super handy because sometimes you want to 3D print things separately, and you don't want your entire Sumobot to be together. And I took advantage of that in here. It's actually, come on. It's gonna open. Please don't crash. Oh god, it's gonna crash. I took advantage of it in my Sumobot to just kind of start creating a second part. Oh, it worked. Hey, okay. So like the way I started creating this, I had to do extrude, or actually, yeah, I had a little gap there. That's how I did it. But other options include just extruding on top and then just doing new body, so it doesn't automatically just seal together like they like cold welded themselves. That's like the only other thing I want to say. This limited selection of tools can get you really, really far. When you're ready to 3D print, I'll probably show that at a later date. But if you are, for some reason, you've already gotten that far, feel free to message me and I can show you how to export. It's just a little too much, I think, for today. I mean, we've already gone at this for like an hour. So, yeah. Hopefully this is like enough to go off of. This should be like, I would say this is enough to like build an entire Sumobot. I don't think I use much other tools than that. My only other hint is that you can sketch, let's say, a 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter cube or square on the ground on the base, and then start organizing your parts like kind of in that area. Once I provide all the parts for you guys, which will be like edge sensors and motor drivers and wheels and stuff. Mohammed, what's your question?
So when should we be like done our design by? Like, what's like, you know, the date?
Well, the competition is going to be in like the spring, so you got lots of time. I'm trying to finish up all the tutorials for December, like exam season, before exam season comes, such that you guys can like, you know, have enough info to go off of and, you know, screw around during Christmas and whatnot on your own time. And let's say, I don't know, if you guys want to get stuff, have it ready by January 1st, somewhere in January, that's fine. Literally as early as or late as you want regarding the competition, because it takes us, you like, we can turn around and have your parts printed in like 24 hours, depending on how long they take to print.
Okay. Thank you.
And then it's up to you to getting them. And then whatever the competition date is, once we ever get that, if it ever happens, or whatever we end up organizing just as a York team kind of stuff. Hopefully that helps you understand the timeline. It's very leisure for sure. Gotta give you guys lots of time to get it. So hopefully that's enough to work off of. Does anybody else have any other questions? Did you guys all get far? Did you get to this point without struggling too much?
Like it was really helpful for me as well. Actually, I'm just wondering about, like, I saw your models textures and stuff. I don't know how texturing works in Fusion, but
Oh, you're curious to get them looking pretty and
Yeah.
stuff? So, I mean, I can show that really quick. There's basically an appearance option. I usually just get it to it by pressing A on the keyboard. I don't actually know where it is. Oh, somewhere in here. I press A on the keyboard, and then I basically select faces, and then there's a million different things.
Oh, nice.
You can go for hours searching for materials, and then I can just, let's say, take this, or let's say take that, and boop, place it on glass, smooth, glass, glass. Check it out. Pretty. And that's how it was kind of achieved. All the coloring and whatnot in this model.
Oh, nice. So you just need to drag the textures.
Yeah, just make sure you have apply to is not bodies, but it's selected to faces, depending on what you want to select. So if you want to select the color an entire object the same color, versus in this case, let me zoom in. It's like only individual faces here.
Mhm.
And you can even go nuts here, and you can double click on that, and then you can customize it even further. It's nuts. I spent too long on this, for sure. I didn't make all these models, I should say. Some of these models I modeled. Example, this edge sensor. I modeled that motor driver. I modeled, but not the breadboard, the batteries. I did the motors. So like, I use a website to download some of these models, but I'm going to provide all the files that you can possibly need. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
No problem. If nobody else has any questions, I will call it here. In the next day or so, I'm going to upload all the files. I have a meeting like literally right after this, so I can't do it now. But I'm going to try and export all the files for you guys to use. I'll upload them. I'll tell you where they are. They're probably going to be in that Google Drive link where all the other tutorial material is. And then you guys can just download all the files there, upload them to your project, and use them as you wish. As simple as that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys got nothing else, we can call it here. I can stop recording and